Shalom, giving all praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's worthy to be praised for everything. Glory to His holy name. We'll continue on this heathenistic, pagan day of Mother's Day. Bring clarity. And if you like, I suggest that you look at the number one, the first video that I've done to get the understanding of where it derived from all the way back to the Queen of Heaven, really. But as always, I'm going to start off with Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. That's all I'll say and do is going to be in the name of the Lord and Savior Mashiach Yahushua. We'll give thanks to the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, who we are, the Israelites, for everything. For He's worthy to be praised for everything. Glory to His holy name. But His word is true. So I'm going to go into it. Like I said, if you like, initially how this began, you can go to the number one video on this lesson and you'll be able to get the introduction of how this all began with us. But we got to change. We got to come out of following the ways that He's the Most High told us in Jeremiah 10:2. He said, learn not the way of the heathen. But we seem to always find a way to justify our actions and following the ways of the heathen, going against the Most High. Let's look at Titus 2:12. Titus 2:12. It said, teaching us that denying unrighteousness and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and righteous in this present world. See? We'll be teaching denying unrighteousness and worldly lust. The things that you desire that's contrary to the Most High's word and how we should be living our lives. Denying unrighteousness, denying the fact that this is pagan. It has nothing to do with the Most High. Nothing to do with the Mashiach Yahushua and nothing to do with us. You're supposed to honor your mother every day. Honor thy father and thy mother. That's in the commandments. That's the first commandment of promise. So it's not something that you do one day. You honoring Semiramis, Queen of Heaven, and all the other names that they have given her on this earth, representing gods or idols, statues of giant women and so forth, all of that. This is what you're doing, including Mary. We're going to see how Mashiach Yahushua felt about you exalting Mary, his mother. I brought it out in the previous lesson. We got to go over it again. We're going to go into that too, because you're going to see that this world we're in now is set up to send you straight to hell. Straight up. And you can get all exalted all you want to in this bad boy. He that exalt himself, or Mashiach Yahushua himself, shall be abased. He that humble himself shall be exalted. So you got a choice. Choose life or death. That's what he's telling you. When you be abased, that's like thrown in the lake of fire, where the worms never die and the fowls never quench. And he that humble himself shall be exalted to the kingdom. We're going to be plenteousness of everything that you can even think of and can't think of, because we don't have plenty of this here. Because everything here is defiled. It's defiled, the Most High said. Look. Looking for that blessed hope, that blessed faith we have, and the glorious appearance of the great power in our Savior, Mashiach Yahushua, who gave himself for us, the Israelites, that he might redeem us from all iniquity, from all wickedness, our sins and purify unto himself a peculiar people, who we are as the Israelites, zealous of good works. And them good works are keeping the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, doing what he say do. His rules and regulations, you know about that. Everybody know about that. So if he giving you rules and regulations, it's very important that you and me and everyone else, we actually do what it is that he wants us to do. Or otherwise, you're dealing in iniquity, wickedness. And see that mercy and grace, everybody said we're in a mercy and grace. Yeah, the Israelites are, because the mercy and grace only came to Israel, only to the Israelites. So what you gonna do when he come for you? And it's not like you've been taught thinking that it's a certain way, and it's not that way. What you gonna do then? You ready to meet the Most High? You really ready to meet the Most High? Mashiach Rashad told you this. Go to Luke 6:46. He said, and why call ye me Mashiach, master, and do not the things which I say? He said, why you calling on me and you're not doing what I say? He said, whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like. So I ask you the question. Show me where, since I know everybody believe in Jesus, as you call him. Well, I call him Mashiach Yahushua because he spoke Hebrew. Show me where he honored Mother's Day. I'm going to show you how he didn't even allow you to exalt his mother, Mary. But they got her set up in a shrine, statue in the Catholic Church and so forth. I've seen people on their knees crawling into the church, knees bleeding, everything. They're just crawling into the church. I guess that's supposed to be the affliction. All kind of crazy stuff I've seen. He said, whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like. He is like a man which built an house and dig deep and laid the foundation on a rock. Laid the foundation of the house on a rock. And when the flood rose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it. It's built on a rock. Foundation's on a rock. Cannot shake it, for it was founded upon a rock. But he that heareth, they hear the fact that this is pagan, this is hedonistic, the origins of it, they hear it, and doeth not, they still want to honor it. It's like a man that without a foundation, building a house upon the earth, just the dirt, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell. And the ruin of that house was great. You see? But you got to understand, we build this foundation on Mashiach Yahushua, to the glory of the Most High. Let's go to, he's that rock. Go to 1 Corinthians, the 10th chapter. So you got to look at all these things coming into being, and we following the way of the heathens, the Gentiles. 1 Corinthians, the 10th chapter. We're going to start at verse 1 to 4. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant. Don't be not knowing. Don't be silly and stupid. Side as children. No more. How that all our fathers, it's our forefathers, were under the cloud. Because Mashiach Yahushua was in the cloud as an angel of the Most High. The angel of the Most High. That dealt with Moses. And all passed through the sea. We all went through the Red Sea when we came out of Egypt. All 12 tribes. That's what he's talking about. And we're all baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat. We ate the same spiritual meat. And did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Mashiach. See, that rock was Mashiach. He's the one that was leading us in the cloud by day, in a fiery chariot at night, as the angel of the Most High, the Spirit of the Most High. So, once again, he's saying, how you say you believe in him and you don't do what he say do, or you don't follow the example that he gave us to follow? Once again, Luke 6 and 46. He say, and why call me? Why call ye me Mashiach, Jesus, Lord, Master, and do not the things which I say. See? He said, why don't you do this? I'm telling you this. You're being taught. So why don't you do it? But you know, it's something, because I want you to know that, you know, we were all taught, majority of us, Romans 11:26. Because people could act like they could do whatever they want to do, and to hear this, you'll think that you still got an opportunity to make it. But Romans 11:26 says, and so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away unrighteousness from Jacob. So it says, and so all Israel shall be saved. So years and years ago, we looked up the word all, and it means a certain number. And we know that certain number is the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel. So now, when you look at this evil people, the children of the devil, that are Israelites, coming back through the righteous that are going to be saved, whoever they are, that's what's been taught. Oh, every last Israel going to come back through the ones that's going to be saved. But the Mashiach told you this in Luke 6:43. Now, the ones that are going to be saved will be doing the law, statutes, commandments, and have faith in the Most High by Shema Mashiach, period. And fearing the Most High. But he's telling you in Luke 6:43. Because a lot of y'all think, oh, I could do Mother's Day, I could do this holiday, I could do this, I could do that. Most High know my heart, which is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. But he told you this. Mashiach told you this is Luke 6:43. For the good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit. Read you again. For a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit. Neither does a corrupt fruit bring forth good fruit. You see? So, and we consider trees, you know, symbolically consider trees, men. So, he telling you that those that make it, not going to bring forth that corrupt fruit that didn't make it. That's why you can do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, believe that you want to, because people have said, well, I ain't got to do what y'all do. I ain't got to do all that, learn all that, because I'll be saved anyway. He telling you. For every tree is known by its own fruit. For of thorns men do not gather figs, nor of a bramble bush gather they grapes. A good man out of the good treasure of his heart, his mind, bringeth forth that which is good. And an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaketh. And why calleth me Mashiach, Mashiach, and do not the things which I say? That's why I go to Amos 9 and 8. Because we went to Revelations 18 and 4. The Most High said, come out of her, my people, that you not be partakers of her sins, you don't receive her plagues. So Amos 9 and 8 says, behold, the eyes of the Most High are upon the sinful kingdom, a kingdom that's set up to have you follow things contrary to the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Matter of fact, tell you that you ain't even under the law of the Most High. And have people going out in the streets and everywhere you can think of, arguing about they ain't got to follow the Most High. Do they realize what you're saying? Are you serious? Fearful thing to fall into the hands of living power. Hebrews 10 and 31. It ain't going nowhere. It'll be right there anytime you want to look at it. And anytime you want to deal with him, he's ready to deal with you. Because that's evil. Listen to what he say. Behold, the eyes of the Most High power, these are power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, are upon the sinful kingdom, like America. And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. Saving, he gonna save someone. Who? Saving, I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Most High. Because we know that 1/3 of our brothers and sisters are gonna be redeemed from this wicked lands and lands that wherever we scattered at. This is what he say. For lo, I will command. He gonna give an order, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. Where we scattered among all nations. He gonna get us from among all nations, like as corn is sifted in the sea. Yet shall not the least, which is the 1/3 grain, fall upon the earth, right? So that's the 1/3. The least is the 1/3. 2/3 is double 1/3. So the least is the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel will not fall upon the earth. Listen to what he say next. All the sinners of my people, those unrighteous, those that don't want to come after the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, don't want to have faith in him, don't want to fear him, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. So he's going to kill you. All the sinners of the Most High's people. So you think it's righteous in following Mother's Day? When it's set up, it's an idol. It's set up to represent something contrary to the Most High, period. An idol. All these years. But it hasn't been that way in America all these years. The pagans, they dealing with certain things. But as far as it being, widespread across America, it wasn't happening in the 1800s, 1700s, 1600s, 1500s, and when they came in 1492 and so forth. Now, the pagans always been dealing with honoring Semiramis and so forth. We're going to find out as we go through this. But we wasn't doing this. That's why I say all the sinners or the Most High's people, the children of Israel, going into hell fire. They're going to die by the sword, he said. It's a hell of a thing. Bond to the hands of living power, I'm telling you. You don't want to have to deal with the Most High. Especially when he's angry. His wrath is kindled up. You don't want to deal with that. Go to the Baruch, the 6th chapter in the Apocrypha. Baruch, the 6th chapter. And we're going to look at verse 10. Baruch. And like I want to say that this is nothing against any mothers at all. But everyone needs to know the truth and understand this too. So that you know how, and when you hear these different things in this Bible, you'll be able to respect the Most High, you'll be able to respect the Mashiach Yahushua, because he made it clear. I want you to go to Colossians 3 and 25. But he that doeth wrong, you that say, okay, it's okay, the Most High know my heart, which is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. That's your heart is your mind, the way you think. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he have done. You do wrong, you're going to receive for the wrong which you have done. And there is no respect of persons with the Most High. So we're going to roll like him. We're going to roll like a Mashiach Shai who said in St. John 10:30, I and my Father are one. They agree. And we got to agree, just like they agree. And no respect of persons with the Most High. So we can't have respect of persons either. Look at Baruch the 6th chapter, and let's start at verse 1, actually. Because of the sins, which we define sins in 1 John 3 and 4, sin is the transgression of the Most High's laws. Because of the sins which ye have committed before the Most High, ye shall be led away captives into Babylon by Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Babylonians. That you know, we're going to go in captivity for breaking the Most High's rules and regulations, which is his laws, on the Ethiopians. So when ye be come into Babylon, ye shall remain there many years, and for a long season, namely 7 generations. We were there 70 years. And after that, I will bring you away peaceably from thence. So he brought us out of Babylonian captivity. Then we went to the Persian Mede Empire captivity. Now shall ye see in Babylon, so you know what you're going to see in Babylon, gods of silver and of gold and of wood, born mean to carry, upon shoulders. You got to carry them upon shoulders, which cause the nations to fear. You hear that? Which cause the nations to fear, because remember Psalm 96 and 5, but all the gods of the nations are idols. So these gods cause the other nations to fear. Beware therefore that ye in no wise be like to strangers, neither be ye afraid of them. When ye see the multitude before them and behind them, worshiping them, just like it is with Mother's Day. You can say whatever. It's worshiping of the Queen of Heaven, worshiping of Semiramis and so forth. But say ye in your heart, say this in your minds, the Most High, O Most High, we must worship thee. That's what Satan was told by Mashiach Yahushua when he came to him. He said, hey, you got to worship the Most High, and him only shall you serve. Every time he came to him, he went through the law. What they say you're not under. Hear what he said? But say ye in your heart, say this in your minds, this day and forever, O Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said, that's my name forever, the memorial to all generations. We must worship thee. Hear that? For mine, this is what he said, for mine angel is with you, and I myself caring for your souls. You hear what he said? For mine angel. At this time, Mashiach Shai hadn't came in the flesh. He said, hey, look, my angel, remember he just said the spiritual rock that followed us was the Mashiach. We just read that in 1 Corinthians 10 and 4. So he said, my angel, just like I told you, that's him. My angel is with you, and I myself caring for your souls. As for their tongue, what they got to say, it is polished by the workmen. They got to shine them up. And they themselves are glittered and laid over with silver. Yet are they but false and cannot speak. That's what they got until this day. They have different, they call it by different names, but each nation have that same woman figure set up going all the way back to the Queen of Heaven, including Mary. That's supposed to be Hamashiach's mother, but you can find out what he said concerning this. And it cancels out, gonna cancel everything that you believe as a Catholic in what he said, since you say you believe in him. And taking gold, look, they take gold as it were for a virgin that loveth to go gay. Beautiful. That make crowns for the heads of their gods. Make crowns to put on the heads of their gods. Sometimes also the priests convey from their gods and gold, sometimes also the priests convey from their gods gold and silver and bestow it upon themselves, right? Yeah, they will give thereof to the common harlots. They will give thereof to the common harlots. These are prostitutes that sell their body for sex. And deck them as men. Deck them as men. The only way you can deck a harlot as a man is to put a man's clothes on them. Deck them as men with garments, see? Being gods of silver and gods of gold and wood. And that's all you dealing with. And dealing with Mother's Day. The mother is taking the place of the Queen of Heaven or Semiramis. Yet cannot these gods save themselves from rust and moss, though they be covered with purple raiment, covered with beautiful purple raiment. They cannot save themselves, like he's saying, from the moth or rust. Eat them up. Though they be covered with purple raiment for royalty, right? Supposed to be exalted. Most I said they gotta be carried, they can't do nothing. I mean, these are the things that, and our people were so superstitious, they was believing in it too. Yet cannot these gods save themselves from rust and moss, though they be covered with purple raiment. They wipe their faces because of the dust of the temple, when there is much upon them. I mean, come on. You gonna tell me that they wash their own face? Talking about these idols that they have. Like, they got a lot of idols in the Catholic Church. In some churches of, religions of, that some of you coming out of. Or that you're still involved in. And that's what we're looking at. Regardless, you're taking the place of this idol. When you allow yourself to be exalted on that idol's day. And the Most High is not pleased with that. You're going to find out. And he that cannot put to death one that offended him, hold up a scepter, as though he were a judge of the country. Say, can't do nothing. Somebody just come in and push him over. What are they going to do? Break? Look, he hath also in his right hand a dagger and an axe, but cannot deliver himself from war and thieves, whereby they are known not to be gods. Therefore fear them not. He got to warn us. He got to tell us this. Why? Because we were fearing him. All the way back to Semiramis. She told the story of Tammuz's blood when a wild pig killed him. That was her son and her child, because Nimrod became her husband, even though he was her son. And they had a son named Tammuz, and Nimrod was killed. And Tammuz tried to follow the same steps as his father, being a mighty hunter, and a wild boar, which is a wild hog, killed him. So his blood, she said, went on an evergreen tree, and the evergreen tree grew up, and that's like what you see in Jeremiah 10:1-5, which created the Christmas tree that people are still honoring today. And she said Nimrod's spirit was in there, and if you ain't bring presents and put it under the tree, you bow down to this idol, then he's gonna come and destroy you. and you do bow down, and y'all have a Christmas tree, you bowing down to that tree when you put presents under it, and you bowing down to that idol, which is a tree, when you take the presents from underneath it. So you bowing down to that idol. And that's why you got to repent. Ask the Most High to forgive you. That's why the Most High said, whereby they are known not to be gods. Therefore fear them not. See? So these are the things that we have to be aware of. And it's, I mean, you read down within this chapter, he's just going into it because this is what we were dealing with. You know, being afraid of these idols until this day. People are afraid of these idols. We have the power of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Our power is an invisible power, a visible power, invisible power, and become visible when he brings forth his judgments. Because you know, he said, and you shall know that I am the Most High. Guaranteed. He said he gonna know that I am the Most High. Look. Well, let's continue. Let's go in a little bit more. Let's look at verse 21. It says, their faces are blackened through the smoke that cometh out of the temple. Their faces are blackened from the smoke that come out of the temple. Upon their bodies and heads sit bats, swallows, and birds, and the cats also. They sit there, just standing in their position. They can't go nowhere because you got to carry them wherever they're going to go. He said, by this ye know that they are no gods. Therefore fear them not. You hear the Most High speaking to us over and over again. He speak once, yea, twice. Man perceive it not. Notwithstanding the gold that is about them to make them beautiful, except they wipe off the rust, they will not shine. For neither when they were molten did they feel it. So you got to wipe off the dust of these statues, these idol statues, and so forth. The things wherein there is no breath are bought for a most high price. Pay a lot of money for these statues, these gods. And see, people look at it as just a statue. No, it's not just a statue. This represents a god. Like the Most High is the ultimate power. That's what you got to understand. All the gods of the nations are idols. That's their gods. They are borne upon shoulders. Meaning, once again, they got to be carried upon the shoulders. You got to carry them, having no feet, whereby they declare unto men that they be nothing worse. They ain't nothing. They also that serve them are ashamed. For if they fall to the ground, like I said, if they fall to the ground at any time, they cannot rise up again of themselves. They can't rise up. They fall down. They can't get up off the ground. I mean, this is pretty basic that a little child should be able to hear this and understand it, but we, the children of Israel, so we have to hear it. Neither, because we're afraid of them. That's why I say fear them not. That's why he kept telling us to fear them not. But we was afraid of this. They also that serve them are ashamed, for if they fall to the ground at any time, they cannot rise up again of themselves. Neither, if one set them upright, can they move of themselves. Somebody set them upright. They can't move. They got to be carried on your shoulders. Neither, if they be bowed down, can they make themselves straight. But they set gifts before them, as unto dead men, He set gifts before him, just what he comparing that statue or that idol as a dead man. As for the things that are sacrificed unto them, their priests sell and abuse. In like manner their wives lay up part thereof in salt, but unto the poor and impotent they give nothing of it. Minstrous women and women in childbed eat their sacrifices. Women on their cycles, going in there, eating their sacrifices. That's what they putting before them. By these things ye may know that they are no gods. Fear them not. You know, most I keep telling us, fear them not. For how can they be called gods? Because women set meat before the gods of silver, gold, and wood, and the priests sit in their temples having their clothes rent, tearing their clothes, and their heads and beards shaven, and nothing upon their heads, and nothing upon their heads. That, the priests had something on their heads. Like, are you saying that we don't have nothing, supposed to have nothing on our heads, and nothing upon their heads? This is when they dealing with mourning for this dang on idols. They roar and cry before their gods, as men do at the feast when one is dead. Hear that? They roar and cry before their gods, as men do at the feast when one is dead. The priests also take off their garments and clothe their wives and children, whether it be evil that one doeth unto them, or good, they are not able to recompense it. They ain't able to do anything about it. They can neither set up a king nor put him down. In like manner, they can neither give riches nor money. Though a man make a vow unto them and keep it not, they will not require it. They can do nothing. They make a vow and don't keep this vow, these idols can't do nothing. And that's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with Mother's Day. The worship of an idol. They can save no man from death, neither deliver the weak from the mighty. They cannot restore a blind man to his sight, nor help any man in his distress. They can show no mercy to the widow, nor do good to the fatherless. Their gods of wood, and which are overlaid with gold and silver, are like the stones that be hewed out of the mountain. They that worship them shall be confounded. They that worship them gonna be confused. So when you see people worshiping on this day, they've heard that it's abominable, they confused. How should a man then think and say that they are gods, when even the Chaldeans themselves dishonor them? He's showing you all the things that they do. Taking things off of them, people sacrifice, taking the food from it, taking the clothes off of them, giving them to the families and so forth, all of that. Then we said, how should a man then think and say that they are gods, when even the Chaldeans themselves dishonor them? Who, if they shall see one dumb that cannot speak, they bring him and entreat Baal that he may speak, as though he were able to understand. Yet they could not understand this themselves, and leave them. But they have no knowledge, because it's just a statue. It's an idol. The women also, with cords about them, sitting in the ways, burn brand for perfume. But if any of them draw by some that passes by, lie with him, she reproaches her fellow, that she was not thought as worthy as herself, nor her cord broken. Whatsoever is done among them is false. How may it then be thought of or said that they are gods? He would have said, whatsoever is done among them is false. How may it then be thought of, said that they are gods? they are made of carpenters and goldsmiths, they could be nothing else than the workmen will have them to be. They could be nothing but how somebody to carve them out to be. Period. That's it. And they themselves that made them can never continue long. How should then the things that are made of them be gods? For they left lies and reproaches to them that come after. Hear that? They left lies like Mother's Day, which going all the way back to the Queen of Heaven, Semiramis, and all that. For they left lies and reproaches, disgraces to them that come after. Here we are now looking at, okay, you can say whatever. That this so-called white woman, Anne Marie Thomas, invented Mother's Day. But this is a tradition that's been going on for years and years, long before they even came here to America. Pagans know. These heathen pagans know. We're reading about it. Because they took on the aspects of Babylon. America did. Even you get the dollar bill. Turn the dollar bill over, you'll see. The Egyptians and the Babylonians and so forth. That's their culture. What they took on. They don't have any creativity. They take on everybody else's culture. They're everybody, right? You know that. They show that in the movies. You learn that in school. So he's letting you know that there are no gods at all, no power at all. But we're so superstitious and believe in darkness and the things that are told to us by these other nations primarily, and not believing in the things that the Most High is saying through his servants, the prophets, in these last days, that you're going to be left behind. See, when you understand the Most High is not dealing with the ignorance. It's been too long that we've been ignorant. It's time for us to wake up and come out of that darkness into his marvelous light. It's too late to be falling into ignorance. For real. I'm telling you. When you look at, go to Wisdom of Solomon. Let me bring something else out. Wisdom of Solomon 14. And look at verse 21. Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 21. And this was an occasion, to deceive the whole world. I went through scriptures in the prior lessons showing you that the deceit Esau was, it tells you in Psalms 58 and 3, see, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, right? So now it says, and this was an occasion to deceive the world, right? So for men serving either calamity or tyranny did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name, right? So, and whatever name they use, like we looking at Mother's Day, but Semiramis is set up until this day. You see Mary in different ways, that's her. The Pope, They have Semiramis and Tammuz and Nimrod. They're very, very brown. Easter, bringing in her. That's something. Easter comes in, you bringing in, they say the spring equinox, you bringing in the fertility god. It's with the pagans. And then you have Mother's Day right after that. Right after Easter, here comes Mother's Day. You done brought in Semiramis, fertility god, and now you bring in Mother's Day, and she's being honored from Easter to Mother's Day. She's being honored. Can't deny it. I mean, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. So we have to really look at this and apply these scriptures in our spirit, so we know that we're following the right way. Because I asked you previously, show me where Mashiach Shai honored Mother's Day. Since y'all Christ-like, what scripture is that? We're gonna find out about how he was rolling. So all praise the Most High. All that's in this Bible. Go to since it says and this was an occasion to deceive the world, to lie to the world. Let's look at the first liar. And the first lie that was told. That's why the Most High wants you to change. He wants you to change. He wants you to be born again. Become a new creature. Go to Genesis, the 3rd chapter. Let's start at verse 1. It say, now the serpent, remember we read about the serpent in the previous lesson in Revelation 12 and 9. The dragon, the red dragon, they all red, the red dragon, the serpent, the old serpent that we read about here. Well, let's read it so that some of you might look at this only and don't go to any other lesson or previous number of the lessons that I put out. So let's go there so you'll see it. Because he's mentioning Revelation's 12th chapter. Revelation 12 and 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon. So we know the dragon is red, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. So the seven heads are the 7 leading empires of the Edomite nation, which are the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russian, the British. And America came out of Britain. And the 10 heads are the EEC, the European Economic Community, or the European Community, or NATO today. That support. That's why I say the 7 crowns upon his head, meaning powers from the authority, came to them in those consecutive orders. Talk about the verse 9. And the great dragon, which is red, was cast out. That old serpent that we're going to read about in Genesis 3rd chapter. We're in the last book of the Bible. But it's still talking about that old serpent. So the serpent was red. The dragon is red. Called the devil. The devil is red. And Satan is red. Which deceived the whole world. Remember? Just said. And this was an occasion in Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 21 to deceive the world. You see how it goes right along with what it's saying here. All these entities which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So now, you look at that and say, oh, well, that's, people be saying, oh, Satan was cast out of heaven, and he came to the earth, and with his angels. That's what's going on. And they laid down with women and had babies with women and all that. Madness. And a woman told me that they had no baby by no spirit ever. I asked them. Spirit impregnated you? Angel came down to have sex with you? And they said no. Maybe y'all met something. Let me know. Let me know. So I know it tells you in 2 Corinthians 11th chapter, it says, verse 14, it says, but no marvel, for Satan himself, we just read about him, Revelation 12 and 7. But no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light and fooled everybody. Like you thinking that Mother's Day is holy. Satan himself then transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it's no great thing if his ministers, so that you know Satan have ministers, also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness. So that light is what? Proverbs 6:23. Satan appeared as an angel of light, fooling everybody. Remember, to see the whole world. So a lot of y'all, you being deceived, like I just told you about. We just went through all of that concerning idols. Proverbs 6:23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. See, the law of the Most High is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of light. So the law is light, you see? So Satan would appear as someone that's telling you that to follow me because I'm telling you about the Most High and keeping his laws. He didn't appear like this. Also, you look at St. John, the 1st chapter, the 3rd verse, concerning the Mashiach Yahushua, all things were made by him as an angel of the Most High, and without him was not anything made that was made. I'll tell you in Ephesians 3 and 9, the mystery of the Most High, which has been hid in the Most High, who made all things by him, Mashiach Yahushua. So it says, in him was life, see, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness. So his light, this light that he's bringing forth and showing us how to keep the commandments of the Most High, shineth in darkness. What world was he in? He was in the Roman world. So this light is shining in darkness, in the Roman world, which is darkness, like it is now. Darkness. We shine bright as the light, bringing forth the laws of the Most High amongst the people that are in darkness. The light shineth in darkness in the Roman Empire. The same ones that killed him. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehend it not. You see, so this is what we're looking at. So going back here, 2 Corinthians 11:14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. You can't deny this. I got him right here. Y'all know where I'm going. There he is right there. He done appeared as an angel of light. Upside down is all right too. He done appeared as an angel of light.